Exciting. Okay. We're going to call the Italian Village Commission meeting to order for January 13th, 2026 at 4:05 p.m. Our next business meeting will be Tuesday, January 27th at noon at 111 here North Front Street in the second floor, room 205, which is right next to this one. Next month's hearing will be Tuesday, February 10th, 2026 at 4 p.m. 111 North Front Street, second floor, room 204, where we are sitting now. Staff, would you raise your right hand and state your name for the record?
Yes, Jacqueline Mizell.
And you promise to tell the truth in your testimony to the best of your ability this afternoon.
I do.
Excellent. Thank you. We'll introduce the commissioners. Start at that end with Jordan.
Jordan Smith. Edward Hardy.
Carla Trott. Shannon Salvador.
Jason Sudi. And we will see if we have a public forum. Do we have a public forum today?
We do not have a public forum today.
Okay, sounds good. Let's do a motion for approval of staff approvals, and those start on page 3 of the agenda. Can I have a motion
So moved.
and a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And I'll go through for abstentions. Oh, I think we're going to have an abstention on the first one. 1016 Summit Street. Do I have any abstentions?
Abstain.
All right, so Shannon abstains from that one. 1160 North High Street, 50 East Lincoln. That's a long one. 26 East Second, 662 North High, and that's it. Any other abstentions? Okay, motion stands as voted. Let's have a motion on the, look, I remember to do it finally, right? Last meeting. Approval of minutes from last meeting, December 9th, 2025. Can I have a motion for that?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed and abstentions. Okay, so we are ready to move into it. Anything we know today, need to know today, staff, before I start this up?
Our old business item on the agenda, they've asked, they're going to submit some additional information, revised items, so they're going to be on for February.
Okay,
Just heads
so
up.
we just have new business then, just the 3?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, all right, let's get rolling then. The first one is 662 North High Street. Do we have 662 North High? All right, come on up. This is COA 2501370. Once you get up here, I'll let you take a seat. Get settled in, and then if you would raise your right hand and state your name for the record.
Greg Kitzmiller.
And do you promise to tell the truth in your testimony to the best of your ability this afternoon?
I do.
Excellent. Okay, we're going to have staff go, and then we'll be over to you.
Okay, this application for 662 North High Street is requesting a signage, new signage. So they would be installing a 30-inch by 10-foot, which totals out to 25 square foot, aluminum wall sign at the storefront entry. The sign would be externally illuminated only and installed via mortar joints with no damage to the tile, masonry, or other historic materials. And then a temporary signage banner and removal of a non-historic awning has also been staff approved separately. There was no January business meeting, so we'll just dive into the staff recommendation, which is to approve application COA 2501370 at 662 North High Street as submitted, with any and all clarifications to be submitted to HBO staff for review and approval prior to issuance of a certificate. The recommendation is based on the guidelines, specifically Short North Design Guidelines regarding signage, and that cuts down to general guidelines for signage and wall sign guidelines. Thank you.
Okay, great. Anything that you'd like to tell us about the sign?
It's basically a direct replacement of what's there.
Okay.
We're just going to take one down and put one up, the exact same kind of sign.
Sounds good.
Dimensional letter. It should look nice.
Okay, and this is this looks like breakfast place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. All right, let's go down the line and see if anybody has any thoughts or comments. You have anything?
I would just, are you going to be utilizing the same holes?
Yeah,
Then-
basically, I'm not sure what holes are there. So if they've done any whoever did it previously done any damage to the building, I can't speak for that. But we intend on using the mortar joints so that we're not damaging any of the actual building.
That was,
Sounds good. Carly, you have anything?
The question I just had about is the color. So the back face is going to be aluminum, and we see something that looks kind of a tannish goldish color up here. with black letters. What color will
It's a
the?
green letters, actually, I believe. They're burgundy, I'm sorry.
Burgundy.
Burgundy, yes, that's their company colors.
Okay, they're dark, in other
Yeah.
words. Okay.
Anything, Joe?
I guess my only two comments are just to kind of repoint or fill in the voids from the previous screws and then just paint the tap cons to match the sign.
We should be covering those up so that you don't see them. What we generally do when we get to that situation is if everything's covered up and nobody can see it, and assuming that, and this is just an assumption, that the original company did damage to the building, we would fill it with silicones so that you couldn't get any water in there, but everything else is going to be covered.
Yeah, if those screw attachments are really deep and, it starts to penetrate.
Yes.
That would be the concern, so.
Jordan?
No comment.
Paige, I know you just sat down. Anything in?
No, I don't have anything for this one either.
Okay, sounds good. Do we have a motion? Oh,
Come on, guys, we can take it a little longer. I don't want to go back to work.
I mean, you came up with something totally reasonable. That's your own fault. You could have come in here with something outrageous and we'd still be debating it.
To approve application COA 2501370-662 North High Street with the condition that any new holes be done in the mortar joints and any prior holes that are not utilized be filled, and that the tap joints be painted Tapcon screws. I don't know why I said tap joints. Be painted to match the background of the site.
Yep.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
And all in favor? Aye. Opposed and abstentions. All right, great. Good
Thank
luck.
you, guys.
Yep, thanks.
Appreciate it.
Yep, appreciate it. Yeah, that's right.
When I get back
It's not even streaming.
I'm going, man, that meeting just went forever.
Yeah, that's right. Nice. Yep. All right, take it easy. All right, next up is 96 Hull Court. We have 96 Hull Court? Okay, great. And that's COA 2501372. Welcome back.
We have some toys.
Okay, sounds great. Let's get you sworn in and then we can accept whatever you've got to show us. So if each of you will raise your right hands and state, okay, sounds good. Well, if you will raise your right hand, state your name for the record.
Todd Parker.
And you promise to tell the truth in your testimony to the best of your ability
do.
today. Excellent. Okay, so why don't you hand us whatever you want to do in advance while staff catches us up to speed, and then we'll get back to you. Oh no, it's fine. That's all good. Whatever you need to do.
You've seen a lot of this stuff before, so.
Sounds great. Okay, what do we have, staff?
All right, this application for 96 Hull Court is proposing new construction. So construction of a 30-foot, 3-story single-family home with an attached single-car garage and rooftop terrace. Materials for this will include Marvin Ultimate G2 casement and double hung windows, GAF slate line shingles and standing seam metal for roofing, and for siding, James Hardy smooth horizontal and vertical nickel gap siding, as well as GAF slate line, English slate asphalt shingle, and then the garage would be Cherokee velour sandhill in color. The application also includes installation of a paver parking space, drive and walk, and there are variance recommendation requests proposed. So section 3332.15 in an R4 area, district a single family dwelling or other principal building shall be situated on a lot of no less than 5,000 square feet in area. The proposed lot is to be 4,450 square feet. And then section 3332.19, each dwelling or principal building shall front upon a public street. The existing lot does not have street frontage, only alleys. So that's why that variance is being requested. So skipping ahead, there was no January business meeting for this application. This was previously reviewed conceptually at the November 2025 IVC hearing. The staff recommendation is to recommend continuation of application COA 2501372 to allow the applicant time to further refine the proposal following commission comments and guidelines. The basis for the staff recommendation is the City Code 3116.12, standards for new construction, the Short North guidelines regarding height and massing, and then finally the Short North guidelines regarding new construction. Thank you.
Okay, what do you have for us today?
Since we last reviewed this in November. We, the basic front of the home with the only minor changes we made there were spacing on the double hung windows on the front elevation to kind of make it a little more uniform with what's kind of around the area. So the windows were pulled in together to kind of create that, the front gable masses are kind of that 16-foot width, which seems to be very common in the area. And then the other main modification was to the rear component. And that has been simplified, and the goal there is to, in quotes, hide it from the front, playing the story that this was an old house that we've added on to. Of course, we've talked about that. And we simplified the roof design. It's all flat roof. On the back tower, we had a hip roof on one component before. And, the idea is that all of that siding material is one monochromatic tone and, dark color, as you see in the renderings. The window openings are a little more stylistically different than the front to kind of go along with the stylistic difference of that component. And then the garage, we simplified to have a flat roof on it as well, kind of blending a little bit more into what's happening on the rear, as I think the commission recommended kind of that modification. So material wise, the only thing that's not, I guess, wasn't in the staff report is that back component would be, a hardy panel system with these types of reveals that create those lines that we show in elevation. Just because we can't obviously get one full sheet to cover everything. So the site plan, we really have had no changes since the last business meeting. And I think that's all I have to add at the moment.
And so just to be clear, this is for the
Yes.
water table. This is for the roof.
This is for the front porch roof. This is the main house roof. The hardy siding we're proposing to use is our Artisan series, which is thicker. So when it lays on the wall, you have a thicker bevel profile than what their normal siding is, which is, a 1/4 inch thick.
Yeah.
Can we see the color?
The color, this is just prime.
Oh.
Can I approach?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So our color scheme tentatively, and I know it looks very different in this light, but it is for the siding to be this historical gray color and then a darker gray value, similar to this. This does not look this blue in sunlight. I've used this color many times.
So it's not the tan anymore?
No, so the tower would be this color, the trim would be this color on the front, and the siding would be this kind of lighter gray. And I think, these samples are great, but until we see them in the light,
Okay.
we would probably alter that.
I'm just happy it's not tan.
Me too. Me too. So, and we don't have any of the hardy panel sample, but it's just smooth. And they don't even show the reveal detail in their brochures, but if we need to get that, we can somehow.
Okay. Well, let's go around with some comments and then we'll get back to you. Paige, you feel comfortable jumping in to start?
Yeah, I have a couple questions for you.
Yes.
On the gabled portions, I guess, both facing on all three of the sides. The thought behind it looks like maybe a soffit or a projection at the eave level of the gable. I guess I think when I
The
look at this-
overhang?
yeah, is it like a 1 foot or so overhang there?
Yes. Yes.
Space there. I was trying to look at it in this section, so it looks like would have roofing on the top.
Yeah, there would be a little bit of metal roofing on, really low pitch flashing, so you don't notice it, but it would be this dark color.
Okay.
I mean, it's almost flat. It's just enough to shed water.
Okay. I guess I'm just playing with if it needs depth there or if it could
Should be
just be a
flush.
trim board or some
Mm.
type of detail there. Because I do like from the elevations having something there, but then it's I believe a little bit unusual for the surrounding area having that.
To have a gable with a projected rake.
Yeah. At the base there.
Yeah.
The only thing, well, we could work it either way, but yeah, I think it makes it easier to keep the gutters going and whatnot if we have a projection, but
Sorry, on the front of the.
well, yeah, because I have the gutter line going all the way across, but I mean, we could take that off and make it flush if that was
Okay,
the stipulation.
I'll see what my other commissioners
Okay.
think too. But that was one thing that kind of pulled my attention, but I should have started with, I really appreciate the simplification that you
Okay.
guys have done.
Thank you.
I think it's definitely uh, taken our comments and
Mhm.
everything into consideration. The windows, I agree, are, I see kind of shape those up to be more familiar. to
And on the
some-
screen, you lose the fact that those are double hungs, but they, they
Yeah,
are.
yeah, we're seeing the rest of the drawings here. And the only other item, I think, the front porch, I would just maybe want to hear a little bit more. I'm a little bit torn on the metal roofing there, since that is part of the kind of more historic front
Mhm.
that we're showing, because right now it's leaning a little like barn
Mhm.
with the metal roofing and then the really large columns. But I guess just making sure that there's some type of trim detailing, and I'd be interested to hear if other commissioners think that maybe a shingle there would ode well to the surrounding area.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any problem with that.
Okay. And then it looks like the whole front porch is going to be faced with brick. Is that?
The water or the base of it?
Yeah, just from the renderings, it looked like the whole entire thing was wrapped, but
That's up for debate, I guess.
okay.
It seems like it would be more consistent with the community if it was a wood porch.
Yeah. Okay.
That's good. Shannon, what do you have?
I don't have any additional comments.
Thank you.
Carla?
Well, I have two things to say about what you said, Paige. I was thinking the same thing. I do not like what you call it, the projected rafter or piece at the gable
Okay.
that goes across there. Let me just start over a second and say something first. I think that your concept is really interesting, that there was an old house and then you added to it, because it's clearly contemporary in the
Mhm.
back. What bothers me is, and I'm looking at, can you go to the first image, Jennifer?
Was that called first?
It's the one that has the adjacent, this one here, I can show you that way.
Oh, looking at the,
Yeah. And so it also, there, that one. So if you were kind of really enforcing the idea of having an old house and then adding this more contemporary piece to it on the back, to me, this symmetry of that, not to say that there's not ever a symmetrical house
Yeah.
in Italian Village. I know there are facades, but there are probably not as many that you're going to see this kind of width and everything is exactly the same
Yeah.
on both sides. And I don't know if you put these images together, but
so
did you put these images?
yeah, when we took the photos, we kind of used a mapping software and went all around the neighborhood to
Mhm.
figure out. And it's obviously, there's a margin of error there using a software, but looking at similar height structures.
So the
and-
height, I really appreciate the whole
Yeah.
section you did and all of that.
But I also think, sorry to interrupt, but that image that we kept in this file is the old rendering, where the windows were further apart and those pieces were wider. And I apologize for that.
Okay, because that was one of my
Yeah.
complaints, that the windows are so
Yeah,
far
so
apart.
that is the older, that's the last version.
Okay.
And
And then I totally agree with Paige
Okay.
about the porch. The metal just does not seem like
Okay.
it would be a part of a
Yeah.
historic house. And also, could there be some detailing on the columns? You know, at least capital.
yeah, so what I was thinking is simple trim and maybe an eased edge on them. Nothing fancy, obviously.
And Well, and then just the image that was up there when just looking at the other historic house, that there is something kind of special
Yeah.
that happens, whether it's this, I'm talking about the one on the left.
Yeah.
That this is a different house, a different style, I get it. But there's still something special about the windows and the way the windows are treated. And I wonder if you couldn't add some more detail.
Okay.
Maybe it's the center part. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's one on the side or something, but I think if it just had some more complexity to it,
Okay.
would bring it more into a historic style for me.
And part of the reason we have the two gables is the history of the property. Yeah, at one point there were
Yeah, so
multiple units there.
So I agree that those do exist and I acknowledge that and that kind of thing, but it just seems like doesn't have quite the character that just a few things could add to that to make
Okay.
it seem more historic. The other thing is on the other side of the garage, and this is just maybe a personal preference. Is there an image that shows the garage, Jennifer? Jacqueline. It's been a while. Thank you. You think I would know that? Well, we can kind of see it
Mhm.
over there. It's behind.
Yeah,
you
the shade.
there. But, okay, so maybe in this one, it doesn't show up as much, but I was wondering if it wouldn't be nicer to bring up the garage wall and make it
Like-
more of an enclosed structure rather than railing.
Okay.
I always think railing looks so cheap up on
Okay.
top of a structure like that. I don't know what that means, and sometimes it's a combination of wall and railing.
Or
Um,
no railing if we don't have a roof terrace there.
That'd be okay, but it does just seem like it's kind of a small appendage.
So
to-
a parapet wall to give it a little
Yeah,
more
just to
volume.
give it more volume and feel like that blends in with the height of the house.
There are a couple in Victorian Village that are a blend of parapet and then have the railing.
Yeah, where they have like the
Yeah.
pilasters. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that nicely done. Let me check my notes. I'm retired. I now have time to write notes.
I'll just say one thing that Carla was talking about adding maybe a little bit more detail to the historic, like gabled areas, maybe even just the fact that the window trim proportions are all equal right now, but on most historic homes, you see the sill is very thin.
Do the sill and do the top headpiece with a cap.
Yeah, I think maybe just something like
Yeah.
that, and then keeping on the modern part, keeping the trim all very
Mhm.
uniform. Just something small like that might help with what you were
Yeah,
hinting
that's a
at.
great idea.
Like it. Anything else in your secret notebook?
I think that's it.
Okay.
It's not
Jeff.
very secret.
I would agree with everyone. I really like the narrative of this being a historic home that's being added onto, and, going back to Paige's comment, really playing up some of those historic details,
Okay.
like the trim. I think, that, the horizontal with the gable, maybe it's just a 1 foot return and then it's just a band board. at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
And then maybe you can just change the siding, at the gable.
Mhm.
I think that could be a really nice detail. I think it would really blend in nicely with the rest of the homes. With regard to the garage, I like the idea of creating more volume there. And I think maybe as you do that, you take a look at different ways to deal with the drainage so that you don't
Mhm.
have the gutter system. I think that would really clean that up. And maybe there's just a horizontal accent board or, some other architectural solution there. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of the red brick on the patio
Yeah,
and at the
we
base.
can get rid of that.
Yeah, I think the coloration of there works a lot better than what the rendering's showing. So maybe it's just, updating it a little
Mhm.
bit. So maybe it's just a graphical thing.
Yeah, I think it's graphics. And I think that's more appropriate to be a wooden
Yeah,
deck.
yeah, I
system.
agree. And then with regard to the contemporary edition, I love the proportions. The one concern I do have is, those upper floor windows, the casements, they seem really tall and then the roof line seems kind of thin. I'm not sure if you're going to have a header issue there that you might have to play around with. I was trying to take a look at the sections and didn't really have a chance to dive into it, but
Okay.
maybe that's something that you need to take a look at. Because the windows have to shrink a little bit
Right.
for headers, then maybe.
We
the
do
width-
flush headers a lot in the roof system.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we could look at, the only reason I was trying to keep them really tall is just to try to get rid of having another panel above them,
Yeah.
like the lower level, because
Yeah.
the lower level is or the second floor, I should say.
Yeah, I mean,
Function there.
I love the scale of
Mm.
it. So, I think that's really sharp. It's just, I was just looking at the section and it just didn't
Yeah.
have that information on there. So, I think that's it on my end.
Okay, sounds good. Troy.
No comments here.
Anybody else have other things to add? Staff, we've been doing some subcommittees lately. I just wanted to get your sense on what you're comfortable with as far as if you think there's enough detail that we could have a couple folks that would be able to review that with you, or if you don't.
I think in this case, yes, it seems like there's a couple of different things, and it might be good to have folks just to confirm that what they see is what they're looking for.
Okay, sounds good. Well, if we decide to go forward with the motion, do we have some volunteers that would be willing to be involved with that? So Paige will do it, and okay, all right. Carla and Paige, sounds good. So on that note, was somebody willing to make a motion?
Move to approve application, COA 2501372 96 Hall Court, with the condition that, revised materials, that reflect the discussion and commissioner comments today are submitted to staff and reviewed with the, appointed subcommittee of Commissioner Trot and Commissioner, I always can never.
Lansky.
Lansky.
And then, Steph, do you need us to detail what those are? Or do you feel comfortable from the discussion?
I think I'd suggest just maybe overall just header points, just so that we make sure they're all included.
Okay,
and
wanna take a
everything's
crack and
clear.
We'll have
Take a crack, but the architects might have to chime in. That the roof line of the porch be looked at, the metal material and the overhang depth. That the gutter placement be reviewed, additional historic details be added, especially to the front of the home. That the casements, top floor casements on kind of the newer addition portion of the house, be looked at and how it relates to the roof line. What else?
Is it that they be lowered?
Lowered
Yeah.
if the flush thing doesn't.
If the flush header
work in.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
and then the porch material, I think.
And the porch material be, wood.
That sound about like what you heard?
I think the garage.
The garage.
Ah, yeah.
The,
Thank
the, balcony or the,
Railing.
railing surrounding be adjusted to include
walls.
parapet walls.
And then, did we get more detailing on the columns? I don't know if
Yes,
you said
additional,
that.
I said additional
Okay.
historic detailing.
All right. Are we satisfied with those elements? Jacqueline, you okay with that?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sounds good. Can I have a second? We got a competing second, so you can choose Jane, Carl, and Joe. And all in favor? Aye, opposed, and abstentions. All right. Well, hey, thanks for working with us. We
Great.
appreciate it.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Just quick question on procedure.
Yes.
So we're okay to go through with the zoning variances?
Oh, yeah. We actually need a separate motion on
Have to
that.
do that.
Okay,
Thank you for reminding us. Is there just the one variance?
there's two.
Okay.
There are two
Okay,
variances.
so the
Yeah.
one is that it has to be on an alley instead of a street. What's the second one?
It's the lot
Lot
size.
size, sure.
The
Okay.
existing lot size doesn't conform.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I'll make a motion that we approve both variances we recommend both variances for approval by the BZA as written. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And abstentions. Okay. And I think procedurally now we can't approve those. So
Right,
now
yeah.
you have our recommendation to
Yeah,
go to the
Stephen
BZA.
in the zoning department emails me like every other week. Are you coming this month?
Well, now you're free to go. You have our recommendation. So good luck there. Hopefully you won't have any problems. And then, yeah, just submit directly to staff the revised drawings.
So
and
just
then-
upload revised drawings once we have them.
Yeah, and then just the two commissioners on the subcommittee will work with staff to get those approved, and you don't have to come back here.
Awesome.
All
Not
right.
that I don't like.
I
you
know it's
hang out with
I
you
know we're a
guys.
pleasure, but thank you very much.
Thanks for your help.
Yep, thanks a lot. Okay, so with that, whoever's left, which I can't get back to my agenda. There we go. We are on application for 853 Summit Street, which is COA 2501345. The last person in the room. That's it. We have officially cleared the room. Would you please raise your right hand and state your name for the record?
Steve Hurt with Urban Order Architecture.
And you promise to tell the truth in your testimony this afternoon.
I do.
Excellent. Okay, so we'll go to staff and back to you.
Okay, this application for 853 Summit Street is a conceptual application proposing new construction, including an addition. So it'd be including a new 1.5-story addition to the side of the existing 1.5-story home. It would be modifying the rear addition to add another 1.5-story to the rear along the existing alley. The rear addition would include a 3-bay garage with living space above. There'd be connection between the existing home and the garage to have a rooftop deck. Materials would include cement board siding, asphalt shingles, aluminum-clad wood windows from the approved windows list, and overhead garage doors to be carriage house style. So just for some background, the property has received various approvals in 2023 that are individual approvals, including new wood fence, siding, roof, windows, concrete door, and side porch. We do have some conceptual feedback from a November IVC hearing, and that's included there. I won't read it out unless the commission would like. Skip ahead here. What's that?
Thank you.
All right, so this is a conceptual application. So the recommendation is that the commission offer design feedback that can be utilized by the applicant to further refine the proposal for review at a future IVC meeting, and so no action is required. The basis for the staff recommendation is the City Code 316.11, Standards for Alteration, the City Code 316.12, Standards for New Construction, the Short North Guidelines regarding height and massing, and then finally the Short North Guidelines regarding new construction. Thank you.
Yeah, for us.
I think when I was here last, the most of the concerns were that the addition is too big or too tall, and it doesn't have necessarily a disconnection as much as the commissioners wanted it to. And that I think on the east elevation that it was a little fancier than the existing cottage. So what we did was we looked at the grading of the alley, and instead of keeping the garage elevation sort of raised, we dropped it. So we were able to drop it like 24 inches. So we have the steps inside the garage. So on the south elevation, it's just going to be, it's going to go along the current elevation of the alley.
Yeah.
Then that's on the north elevation. On the south elevation, then there's sort of a platform inside the garage so that we can make that transition and drop this whole structure. We also reduced the knee wall height of that structure. So overall, we were able to get it down about 3 feet. So it's getting very close to the height of the existing cottage. So then also on the east elevation, we took the bay off the front and sort of rearranged windows to simplify those to, again, try to make it be a secondary piece. And then I know there was discussion about rebuilding the existing 1-story addition. So we are proposing to do that, and we can recess that in from the
You mean the
existing-
connector piece?
The connector piece. So we're proposing that we would push that in 2 feet, do a board and batten siding on that piece so that there's more, as you're looking down the alley, there's a gap. So I think those are the main things that we did to try to respond to the concerns.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Significant changes. Do you want to start?
I don't have anything. So are they basically now? Is the height like equal or is it?
It's pretty close, it looks like.
Yeah, it's slightly lower basically, or is it exactly equal? I can't tell.
Slightly higher.
The
Is it slightly
new
higher
piece
still?
is just slightly a little bit higher.
Oh, right, I was looking at the wrong. Okay.
So, the eve height of the existing cottage is about 10'6".
Mhm.
The eve height of the new piece is like 12'8", but we're dropped down. So we're
Visually
very
the
close.
same.
Visually,
Yeah.
they're the same.
Okay. Okay.
That's the goal.
I don't have anything to add.
Ready to crack open that next page?
I'm there.
All right. Yes, this is great.
That's fun. So I think it looks very nice. I mean, I really like the detailing and everything that you're doing, and you know, the two structures kind of have a similar but different character, and that seems great too. I have to say that the south elevation of the existing structure's roof line makes my head hurt, and I cannot really figure out how that matches everything, but we don't have to worry about my little head, my little brain not getting some of those lines in there. As long as they make sense. I do have a couple of questions about the site plan. You gave us a site plan with property lines, and that's great. But what I don't understand, and just from looking at photos more, I'm making some inferences that where it says easement, is that, yes, that kind of, I couldn't tell if it was gravel or whatever that material is going to go all the way back to the garage because the easement stops short of the garage.
So that is based on a site plan that we had when I was working with the previous developer.
Okay.
Right now, there's a big a condo building in the
Right.
corner
Brick
of
one. Mhm.
First and Summit. That easement goes all the way back to garages that face First Avenue. So there's
Yeah.
an extension of that somehow. And my client has assured me that there is, it will go to the back of their lot because it goes to the neighbor's lot. I think they still have to get an agreement with those people to get past the agreement with the condo building.
Gotcha.
Can be the
That's my
end of the
understanding.
world if who has 3 garages, you know? Anyhow, so that's good to hear.
Just
And-
real quickly, I think if I remember when that building came out at the corner, we were initially trying to link that back, but then there's a big grade change back there. I think that's why it ended before it got to the back. It's a hazy memory now, but 20 years ago.
So there's that building. And
Yeah.
their parking is behind that. And then there's another garage that faces, there's a house that faces,
Yeah.
and
Right.
there is a grade
There's like a little
difference.
courtyard with a grade. Yeah.
But they can go down this little alley
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
and get into their garage. And I think it's a retaining wall that's holding up,
Yeah, I think it is.
like from the garage to the house.
Yep. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So
And then there was talk about trying to get to those next condominiums that face each other.
Yeah. Right.
That's 2 buildings.
Yeah. With the big courtyard thing in the
And
back.
there were
Right.
too many people involved then, and it just.
Yeah. We never got it through there. Okay. I remember that. Okay.
So, and then on the other side, there's a garage door opening. Is that an actual garage? Is there, it's just, and Jacqueline, not Jennifer, Jacqueline. Will we be requiring a more detailed site plan when they get past the conceptual stage?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah, if there's any, details that would be helpful for your review.
What's the access to that other?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's just sort of a glass overhead door.
Is this a la Rob Livesey?
Yes.
Okay. I know what you mean.
Yes, there's there's potential plans for a massive landscape project back there.
Okay.
There's a lot of space back there.
Yeah, it's nice.
Some of I just was on a Google image that, yep, there it is. Somehow
Oh,
a certain
that's still
still
there.
reverts to 14 years ago.
14
Pointed in
years
Street
ago.
View.
I remember that garage. Wasn't a great garage.
It's like,
Oh.
there. It's funny. All right, sorry.
Okay. Do you have anything else, Carl?
I don't think so. I think that was it. Yeah, the easement was the main thing I was wondering about.
It's good. Joe?
I guess a couple questions regarding the north elevation. So you have the dormer, which lines with the kitchen, correct?
Mhm.
On the second floor. I'm just worried about the flanking windows on the left and the right being too low. Have you studied that in section? I'm just wondering if maybe there's something you can do with the eave line, and maybe you drop the eave line a little bit and then the windows pop up a little bit. So there's a little bit of play with creating a vertical component that maybe you readdress the dormer with the kitchen. Because the windows seem like they're going to be at
They're at the floor.
floor.
They are.
I
I
almost
I
wonder,
proposed we did not have those windows, but my client really wants those windows. So I have done a study and
Okay.
they are 6 inches off the floor. And they're,
Can you make them taller and maybe add another one?
yeah. I'm just
let me
really
try to understand more about what you're trying to accomplish. You're
I
trying
just
to
think-
engage them in the garage door or make them feel like they are part of the taller ones?
I feel like they need to be part of the taller ones, more beneficial to that second floor. Because right now, I just think it's, I don't know, I think it's just not going to feel right in that space. I think if you can kind of play with the eave and, maybe play around with the dormer a little bit, maybe that dormer has to broaden up a little bit, just so you get more natural light in there. And then it feels a little bit more consistent with a second floor space than the garage space.
Okay.
Does that make
So-
sense?
Yeah, if that's why we're conceptual. So
Yeah.
I can shift things around
Yeah.
and see what works up there. Overall, would the commission be more in favor of multiple dormers or a larger dormer?
I think I would like it for the person who's in there to be able to have a taller window. Does it work? I mean, can you get the right slope on the roof to make them a little bit taller?
If there's a dormer, right?
I didn't realize they were that low, and I think it looks great. I'm just thinking about the
It's
people in
funky.
there.
It's a funky little
Yeah.
iron piece back there. Not that it really matters, but there are full-size windows on the gable ends
Yeah.
and full-size windows on the yard side because we have a continuous dormer.
Yeah.
So these are just sort of little accent
Yeah,
windows.
that's true.
Because I guess
But
the
I
way I'm
agree.
looking at it, in terms of the composition of it, they're centered over the garage doors and they're low enough that you would think it's almost like a transom. So then it wants to be wider and closer to that header. If it pushes up, then I feel like it goes more with the second floor, more in line with that kitchen window.
Mhm.
So I think it's just a matter of, just studying it and trying to figure out what the best solution there is. I could see it going both ways. To me, if I was in that second floor space, I would want much larger windows and not at basically where I'm going to kick the window out.
Isn't it at the cabinet when you look at this?
It'd be these two windows
Oh,
in the bedroom.
oh, that's right. That's on the other side. Yeah, yeah.
Is it the bedroom and the living room?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, I suggested that we just eliminate them because we just don't have a very tall knee wall.
Right.
Or do another continuous dormer?
Yeah,
That would be easy,
I kind of
but I
like,
didn't really want all of that. But it is back there. So if the commission is okay with,
well, and I think, that goes to the other point that I was going to make is that, that ridge line seems like it's a little bit higher, but, from the street, you're really never going to perceive that. So, I think, I think the changes that you've made are really great. It's just this north elevation, I think is just needing a little bit more.
It's cute as a.
You have anything else, Joe?
No, that's it.
Okay. Jordan, you have,
No comments.
Paige, what do you got?
I'll just say that to your question about preference on number of dormers on that north elevation, I think I would agree that one longer one would be appropriate because it does feel similar to the east elevation kind of has that longer, I know it's partly dormer, and then the west as well. So I think it would speak to the other elevations if you did want to elongate that and when you're exploring those windows there. But I don't have anything additional to everyone else.
Okay, neither do I. Do you have any other questions or things you want to get out of us today?
I think I'm good.
Sounds good. Sounds like people are liking it and we're all here today. So there's no mysterious other voices floating around until the last commissioner gets appointed. So.
Slope was great. Pulling that down.
Move to continue COA 2501345.
All right. Do we have a second?
Second.
And do we even need this motion? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's conceptual, so I think we're fine.
All right. It's okay. It's exciting though.
Do you ever consider skylights for getting light in?
I was just thinking that as Joe was asking about windows, and it was like, we could just put skylights on there.
Yeah.
And, I'll talk to my client. And it's new construction, so
Back in my day, they were the thing.
yeah. I put in
Back
fancy
again.
skylights.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And we just have one more piece of new business as the old business is off the list, and that's chair and vice chair elections. Do you need to say anything before I jump into it, Jacqueline?
Nope, I think you've got it.
Okay, sounds good. So every year we have to nominate a chair and a vice chair for the coming year and vote on that. While I am definitely remaining on the commission, I feel like I've served my time as the chair and am going to be nominating Shannon Salvatore to be the chair. That will be open for any other chair nominations. I'm happy to be vice chair. However, if someone else feels strong they want to take that role, I'm also okay not to be. Just go back to being a regular at-large commissioner. So that will be the first nomination for chair. And do we have any other nominations for chair? All right, hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve Shannon as the 2026 chair of the Italian Village Commission. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye, and opposed and abstentions. Okay, we will now open, congratulations. We will now open nominations for vice chair. Oh, actually, you know what? You can do it. You're officially the chair now, so you can take nominations for the vice.
So I have nominations for the vice chair. Might be nice to have Commissioner Sudi in the role for a year to guide me through the process of this major life transition.
Sounds good.
Any other nominations? All right, hearing none. Do I have a motion for approval as Jason Sudi as vice chair?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? No? All right, motion passes.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Take it. All right, well, it's your meeting now, so.
Okay, do we have any other you said the old business, they are coming next month?
That's right. Yeah, they're going to refine some materials and submit for February 10th, I think is the next meeting.
Okay.
Not the third one. Number 3 on the agenda asked to withdraw for this time. I'm not sure if they're going to come next month or perhaps a future time. But the old business item, which is the 1041 Summit Street, they received a code violation, so they're going to work on that and come back for February.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned.
All right. Look at that. 55 minutes.
That's it.